Good morning. This is Rachel with Infused Meadows, and today I'm going to be making some pumpkin cream cheese muffins. So I thought I'd bring you along in case anybody wants to know how to make them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do this in stages so that maybe a lot of pausing, but I'll try to explain and then get onto it. So this bowl right here, I've already gone ahead and put in my 8 ounces of cream cheese, and then to this. Now, if you're in the U.S. and you got block, make sure to lay that out to room temperature. If you're in the U.K., as far as I'm aware right now, you can't buy block at the store, so you have to get, that other stuff. Just get it. It still works. It's not quite as good because it doesn't quite get as firm, but it's okay. Okay, we'll make it work. To this, I'm going to be adding 1/3 cup of sugar. Set everything down. I'm going to try to move as quickly as I can. It's still early, so, We're going to throw in a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. And then what we want to do is we want to mix this until it is good and combined. Okay, I don't think you need to see me do that, but you're just going to do this until everything is nice, combined, and creamy. And then we'll be back. Before we move on completely to our dry ingredients, go ahead and get your oven preheated to 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 190 degrees Celsius. Get that done. Okay, let's go in with our dry ingredients. So I've gone ahead, I'm trying to make this a little quicker, 1 1/4 cup of plain or all-purpose flour into a bowl. And to that, where is it? We're going to go in with 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice. Now, if you don't want to buy this at the store, then what you want to do is take yourself a bowl, and for one batch, you're going to do 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, 1 3/4 teaspoon of ginger, 1 teaspoon of nutmeg, and 1 teaspoon of allspice. And you just make as much as you want to fill the jar, but that's one batch. So we're going to add 2 teaspoons of our pumpkin pie spice mix. There we go. We're also going to go in with a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. Yes, that has cinnamon in it, but we're adding a little extra, okay? 3/4 teaspoon of baking powder and baking soda. There it is. So I have a 3/4 teaspoon measure, and in that, in the set that I've put in the description box, it is the exact same set that I use. It comes with the measuring cups and the measuring spoons. And now we want to go in with, if I can get this lid on, being a pain, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And as usual, I've forgotten my whisk. I'll be right back. Okay, so you're just going to whisk this very, very well until it is nice and combined. You want to make sure that you don't have anything sitting on the sides or on the bottom. Okay, I'm going to pause this and I'm going to get everything else that I'm going to need for my wet batter, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so I have my bowl. And then to this bowl, we're going to add 3/4 cup, I've had this sitting out, of room temperature unsalted butter. Because I measured this and let this set so it could come to temperature. Because you don't want it straight out of the refrigerator. It's just too cold and it's not going to do what you need it to do. Okay? So make sure it's room temperature unsalted. That's what I use. For everything that I do, I use unsalted. So we're also going to go in with a 1/2 cup of white granulated sugar, a 1/4 cup of firmly packed light brown sugar or dark sugar. It will change the flavor if you use dark sugar because that's a lot more molasses than, regular recipe calls for. But so use light, which is 1 cup of sugar, white granulated sugar mixed in with 1 tablespoon of molasses, and I just found a place that does sell it, BWFO on bwfo.co.uk sells it online. They're a health store. Found it there. But if you're going to use the treacle stuff, you need a tablespoon of that with like a half teaspoon of your corn syrup. And eventually I'll show you how to make a substitute for corn syrup. We're going to mix this until it's nice and creamy, okay? So I'll bring you back. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to add 2 large eggs, one at a time. So there's my first one. And I want to cream this together, just like before. And I'm going to add in that second large egg. And now this time I'm going to beat this until it is, your mixture should turn a little light in color, okay? So it only takes just a couple seconds longer, but that's what I'm going to do. Kind of like fluffing it. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. Now I started with the cream cheese using a half teaspoon, so I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, so we're going to do half, 1, and a half. And then that's us done with that. And I'm going to beat this a little bit more just to combine it. And I'll bring you right back. So what we want to do now is we want to add 2 tablespoons of milk. Now if you have this measuring set, you can just use the 1/8 cup. It's the same thing as 2 tablespoons. So I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of milk. Let me put my milk up. And now we want to add 1 whole regular size can of pumpkin. It's just pureed pumpkin, okay? So don't buy the pumpkin pie filling. You just want pure pumpkin, which is what I have. I found this at Sainsbury's in the UK. In the US, I think every single store sells it. So you're going to add that 1 whole can. Now I do have, I've pureed some of my own. I have it in the freezer, but this has an expiration date on it that's a little bit faster than my freezer stuff, and so I want to use it first. Okay, what we want to do now is we want to use our spatula, and we're just going to mix this together until it is well incorporated. Make sure you scrape down the bottoms, the sides, and then I'll finish this and we'll be right back. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to add our dry ingredients to our wet ingredients. Now I'm going to do this half and half. So you just want to gently, you don't want to over mix all of this or else you'll end up with very heavy, very, I guess, dense. They're just not going to be as good, okay? So just oh so gently. Comes back to that little woman's touch I told y'all about before. You know, gently. And then we're just going to get this folded in. Again, I'm not, you know, there's a reason I'm not using my hand mixer anymore, and that's because it can over-mix this, and I really don't want tough, hard, heavy muffins. You want nice, soft, light muffins. So, scrape down your sides, your bottom, make sure you don't have any flour sitting, and then, now that that's done, give me 1 second, we'll be right back. Okay, so I'll show you how I do a few, and then I'll just pause it so I can finish doing it, and that should be a little less time in the video. So, let me grab a spoon. Sometimes we just don't think, do we? Okay, I'm going to go in. So I'll do a few, and then I'll do the rest. Just a nice big spoonful of your batter, okay? You want some room on the bottom, and then you're going to create a well in the center of this using the back of your spoon. Just gently push aside, and then you're going to come in with a nice portion of your cream cheese mixture. Make sure that you nestle that cream cheese in the center. Okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to come back in with your batter. I like to switch fingers so I don't... Alright, there's really no reason. I just don't like to mix them just yet. And we're going to go all the way around that mixture to make sure that it is nice and enclosed. So you just top it and then gently take your spoon and make sure that there are no cream cheese. There is no cream cheese showing. You're going to do the same thing with this one. Okay? Alright, I'm going to finish doing these and we'll be back. Okay, I've got them all filled, all done, and they're going to go into the oven. Like I told you, that is 190 degrees Celsius or 375 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to set my timer for 23 minutes. Now, you may need longer, okay? So just keep an eye on them. And then all you're going to do is toothpick test. So you'll take your toothpick, stick that in the center. Try not to go too far to where you're in that cream cheese mixture. You may get a false reading, so to speak. So you're just going to stick it in, pull it out, and as long as you only see, you know, maybe a few little moist crumbs, you're good. If you got batter, put it back in. And then you just keep monitoring. Now, I did have a little bit of this left, not much. But, you know, you can either put that on a bagel or you can just eat it. It's up to you. Anyway, I'm going to put these in the oven and we'll be back. I just wanted to mention one thing. Earlier I said if you're using treacle, I meant I said blackstrap. If you're using treacle and molasses are a little different. Treacle has a very bitter aftertaste. That's why you want the corn syrup. And there was something else I was going to mention, but hey, I've forgotten. So we'll be back. Literally hit the button and remembered. Muffins are just like whenever you're making cake. So make sure that you don't have a whole lot of really loud bangs and anything like that going on, because if you do, they could fall. It's always just a possibility, so just keep that in mind. We'll be back. Okay, so these are just out of the oven. We're going to toothpick test. Right in the middle. Clean. We're good. And they're not overcooked. You don't see any, you know, burning. Alright, so I'm going to let these cool for at least 5 minutes in the tray. And then I'm going to move them onto this so that the air can flow all the way around it. And that way my bottoms will not get soggy. Okay, so I'll bring you back. Okay, so we have 12 nice cooled muffins. These will last, these are our breakfast for this weekend. So I know for a fact they'll last until Sunday. We have had them for at least 3 or 4 days. So what you want to do is, because these have cream cheese in them, they have to be stored in the refrigerator, not on your countertop, okay? So you'll just put these in an airtight container and put them in your refrigerator. And then you've got them for at least 3 days that I know of, not including today. So I know that these will be good till Monday. This is Friday. And yeah, you just pull them out and eat them. Hopefully enjoy them. All right. Not 20 minutes, so I'm doing better. Okay. I just wanted to give you that quick rundown. And I hope you make these. If you like pumpkin, I think that you will. They're very good. My husband and I both really like them. So I hope you make this. I hope you love them, if not like them. And if not, then hey, I hope you find the recipe that's out there for you. And as always, have yourself a very wonderful day.